Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back for another YgoPro duel video. Shadow Spread Virus. Finally, the effect is fixed on YgoPro, so I can finally review this card. It's very similar to Crush Card Virus. It can be a blowout against a lot of decks, but yeah, same like something like Eradicator or Deck Devastation Virus. Against some decks, it's like useless. Shadow Spread Virus needs to tribute one dark monster with 2000 or more defense. Well, Darklords are pretty much instant target for this card to be tributed. And just like Crush Card, well, similar to Crush Card, your opponent will lose all their monsters with 1500 defense or less, which is good against a lot of decks, but against some decks it's kinda useless. So let's see a few example scenarios. Right, first game against Monarchs. Against Monarchs, this card should be a blowout, but again, Shadow Spread Virus is a card that can be devastating against a few decks, but against other decks it's not really too great. So I think it will never be a card that could or that should be main deck, but it's probably it can be side decked against a few decks. Monarchs is one of them, which Monarchs are still relevant in the OCG, but you know the huge hits in the TCG. But yeah, anyway, Shadow Spread Virus should be a blowout against Monarchs, as you saw. But yeah, sadly, the virus isn't a searchable card, so not really reliable against Monarchs. There are probably other ways, like Mask of Restrict, or yeah, other cards that are better. Less restrictive. Anyway, next game against ABCs, again just an example. Against ABCs it could be okay. There are a few cards that are hit by the Shadow Spread Virus, like the Gadgets for example. But again, the Gadgets would trigger if the ABC deck is playing like the rank 4 Exceed build. They're also playing triple Photon Thrasher, which is also destroyed off of your virus. I believe it should be the A that it's destroyed by your Shadow Spread Virus. The other two should survive due to their high amount of defense. But yeah, in general, Shadow Spread Virus isn't really too great against ABCs. There are definitely better options to play against the deck. The biggest advantage of Darklord is that, as I mentioned in a couple of videos ago, is that they kinda act like an anti-meta deck with all of their Vanity's Fiend in the main deck. And if you want, you can attack like 1 or 2 Archlord Christias in your main deck. Here the opponent does top deck into Swords of Concealing Light. I should have gone for a game now that I see the replay. Like, I think I would have been able to go for a game like Tribute my own Christia, and then yeah, Reborn and go from there. Not really sure, I should have double checked the graveyard. But again, next tool against the Zoodiac beasts. We all saw they are very powerful archetype coming out soon, but Shadow Spread Virus hits pretty much every monster in that deck. But as you see in the hand, like the Terrortopy definitely had a very good hand, but Shadow Spread Virus definitely seals the deal. And also the advantage of your virus cards is that you can get information about your opponent's hand, so we knew both his Solms were dead. Next game against Blue Eyes. In general, against Blue Eyes, Shadow Spread Virus isn't really too great. Okay, you can hit the smaller cards like Sage or your Ancient White Stone for example, but it's not really too great with their grave effects. Okay, maybe you can hit the level 1s and they'll lose their targets for your Cards of Consonance for example, but it doesn't hit Blue Eyes, it doesn't hit Alternative, so Shadow Spread is not really too great against Blue Eyes. But last game against Kozmos, in general, your Shadow Spread Virus, if you hit the big ships, you know they can just use the big ships, right, since the cards are destroyed. But this game I added, because it was cool, the Vanity's Fiend does prevent my opponent from using the big ship's destruction effect. And yeah, the Shadow Spread Virus definitely coming through, but other games where Shadow Spread Virus was useless, and thanks to Vanity's Fiend I was able to again seal the deal here. But without Vanity's Fiend, the Shadow Spread Virus in general isn't really too great against Kozmos. In this case it worked out, but there are definitely games where it backfired using Shadow Spread Virus. But Yeah, again, the useless Call of the Hound. It's just the fact that Darklords can main deck double or triple Vanity's Fiend. And if you want, also Christia, Archlord Christia, and all these anti-meta floodgate cards are so good against the current top tier decks. But in general, Shadow Spread Virus is a good card. Could be a side deck option for decks like Darklords, decks that can easily can get it off. Pretty much every Darklord monster has 2000 defense or higher, but main deck option, no, probably not. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.